for us, public adjusters, contractors, and attorneys, I mean, no offense, but we've known that this has been going on for a long time. That Washington Post article about reports being changed, that is literally just preaching to the choir. It's what we deal with. I mean, I literally just settled a claim today, Doug, for about $50,000 some odd dollars that was under deductible, under $4,000 because the adjuster paid for 4 shingles and paid for this and that. And then in mediation, I'm able to get $56,000 is what I think I got from under deductible. Like, we already know this is going on. What can we do as an industry to notify the people who really need to know that this is going on? It's those people who sit down in front of their TV and watch the Super Bowl ads paid by State Farm, Allstate, and all of these big wigs who are actually the most difficult ones to deal with on the insurance claim side. What can we do as an industry, those of us that already know this has been going on for a long time, to notify the policyholders, the homeowners, the people who think that the insurance company is there for them, is there on their side? How can we notify them and make them aware of this?
Well, listen, the APA goes a long way in doing that. A huge part of our mission, and we didn't expect this when we started, a huge part of our mission is education, is educating not just the public, consumers on how to defend themselves, but also educating prosecutors and elected officials that insurance companies are committing fraud too. We didn't really expect that, but now when we started talking to them, we could realize they've never heard this before. Their whole careers, they've only heard from insurance company lobbyists who have showed up at their office with a check and said, guess what? Everyone's trying to steal from us. We've got to protect the insurance companies. And P.S., it does happen. People do commit fraud against insurance companies. But what the point that we make is fraud happens on all sides. There's no segment of the population or of the industry you can point to and say it's just those people. A certain percentage of the American population is willing to commit fraud for a profit or to avoid a loss. And it doesn't matter whether you're hiring a contractor or an insurance industry claims manager or an engineering firm or a congressman or a senator for that matter, that percentage of fraudsters come along with it. That's why we see our elected officials getting arrested all the time. We see insurance commissioners getting arrested all the time. Nobody is beyond that. So, working with the APA, we have phenomenal press relationships. We've been in the Washington Post, the New York Times, Fortune Magazine, U.S. News and World Report. We've been on Lester Holt, NBC Nightly News, which is one of the top 5 most watched programs on TV. We've been on Fox. We've got huge because we've got a lot of credibility. We're a newer organization. We're only been around for 5 years.
I know.
But we have a very loud voice because we speak for the American consumer. So one of the best ways that you get that message out is by supporting the APA, getting your information to the APA, getting potential claims, criminal fraud on claims to the APA, and also being able we can carry your voice. Here, I'll give you an idea. A week from tomorrow, I will be in Washington, D.C., testifying to the U.S. Senate. And we will be testifying to the U.S. Senate on fraud, waste, and abuse that is taking place in the flood insurance industry. And this is not just the first time we've done that. This is our second time testifying to the U.S. Senate. Most of your listenership will never have the opportunity to do that. But if you're an APA member, your voice gets carried into some very powerful arenas talking about what's going on. We call it balancing the narrative. There's a quote from Sun Tzu. If you were an old guy in business like me back in the 80s, the art of war was mandatory business manual. We all read it. We all quoted it. And one of the quotes is, all warfare is based on deception. So what we see the insurance industry doing is look at those cockroach locust public adjusters. Look at those predator contractors. Look at those ambulance chasing attorneys. And basically what it is the left hand pointing at the right hand saying, look what they're doing. And while the entire prosecution community is gaslighted, watching consumer advocates No one's watching what the insurance industry is doing. So, we do a lot for what's called balancing the narrative to make sure that message gets out, that fraud happens on all sides. All fraud is wrong, and all fraud needs to be criminally enforced.